Hiya guys, Terry from Smooth Workshop here. Hopefully my neighbour downstairs music isn't too loud as usual. Right, okay. You might have been following some of my builds. I'm trying to do a few how-to videos. Basically approaching stuff from a new model builder's aspect, or somebody returning to the... Sorry about my blue glove, it's a bit... had an accident. Or people returning to the modelling hobby. Sorry, I get distracted. I am Scottish. Recently found myself single, so I'm trying to bury myself in my modelling to keep my mind off things. So yeah, how-tos. So I'm doing a quite a fun build at the moment. It's a Hasegawa egg shuttle build. Oh, stuff falling about here. This wee thing, I tell you what, I've I've not really done anything like this, but this wee thing is good fun. I'm adding LEDs to it. I've got I'm not doing a build video on this one, but I've got a build thread. There's a group I'm in, the Model Makers Boom Hut, run by Ted, Fox and Tony, and they've got a wee sort of egg build mopple making competition on. And I tell you what, I haven't had so much fun for a long time. But I'm doing a couple of techniques on this model, one of which I'll cover later. I've already done one on how to do an oil pin wash on a metallic subject. There's a couple of details on this one I want to pick up with an oil pin wash, and it's a non-metallic subject. That's another video. Hopefully I'll get it done tonight. What I want to come on to is dry brushing. Now it's a basic skill and most of you already know how to do it, but there's quite a few reasons behind dry brushing. You might do it to say you're doing, for example, a machine gun. And the machine gun, when you buy it brand new, is all black and shiny and lovely, but in the theatre of war it gets knocked against things and chipped against things and the actual metal colour comes through. A lot of this can be represented by dry brushing. Similarly, you might have something like a tank track, which the bits that collect all the water and aren't exposed to like road surfaces or rough surfaces are kind of rusty, but the bits that contact regularly with abrasive surfaces end up shiny. You can achieve that as well with dry brushing. This actual tutorial is, now I'm not a figure painter, but I've got a little figurine in this, and I'll just hold him up. This tiny little guy. Right, now he's a spaceman, okay, or an astronaut, or as somebody said, an international skill modeler, an extronaut, because it's an egg build. Now I'm going to flick up a picture just now of him. Sort of, I've primed him and I've used UMP white primer, and I've done a little bit of UMP black primer around about his visor. Then I've went on with Mr. Colour, a lacquer base paint for American friends. Hello Justin. And then I went on top with a Mr. Colour Super Metallic Gold for his visor, and then I basically misted over some Tamiya matte white, and it gave him a decent look. And then I sprayed over a coat of clear coat on top, and that's basically what the image is showing. He looks nice, he's got a shiny helmet and all that, but there's a lot of detail and stuff that's not showing up on the guy. So I had considered doing an oil pin wash on the guy, but I actually did a wash using a Citadel shade called Niln Oil, and I'll flick up a picture just now of him with a Niln Oil on him, and basically coming back to me, that's where we've got him just now. But it's showing up all the different shades and everything like that, but he's looking awfully grey and stuff, so I want to bring back some of that. So I'm going to be highlighting them with some Mr. Hobby Colour Aqueous White, and I'm going to go into the details on that and what dry brushing is all about. This is aimed at beginners or up and coming modelers or that have maybe been away from it for a while, and how to get some effects. So if you know what dry brushing is, this video isn't for you, but yeah, I thought I'm going to be doing it anyway, so here's a little video on me dry brushing this wee guy, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll also be referencing a build I did a while ago. I still haven't finished it yet. A Russian T-55A tank. I did some dry brushing on that as well, and I'm just basically going to be going through what dry brushing's about and what it achieves. Hopefully you find this useful, and okay, off and watch the video. See you in a bit, Styrene Fanatics. Hey guys, welcome back. Terry from Smooth's Workshop, Styrene Fanatics. Hello. Right, dry brushing. So what do we use dry brushing for? Right, well, quite a few things actually. This is a T-55A Russian medium tank that I did a wee while ago. I actually still haven't quite finished it yet, but just to give you an idea, I'm going to get myself a pointy stick. Throw this away. Excuse my hands, I'm not prepared as per usual. So this is mine pointy stick. Right. Things like this. There's a cloth sort of cover here on the main barrel of the tank. And what I've done is I've went in with an oil pin wash and sort of highlighted the detail on this using the effect that the oil pin wash runs into all the recesses. It left it all looking rather dark, so then I've highlighted it with an olive drab by dry brushing paint over the top. Okay. Another thing I've done on this tank is the main machine gun. Now apologies, I don't have a zoom, but when new this will all be a lovely gloss black and all the rest of it, but through wear and tear you might notice on the ridges there, the end of the barrel, the sight, various other little places like say the gear there, the mechanism for winding it up and down and stuff, all come into contact and wear, so I've dry brushed them a metallic colour to emphasise a worn look. Another thing I also done on this model is it has tracks. Now I'm no expert at armour building, okay, but if you can imagine that the tracks are made of steel and that the recess parts will collect water but don't get rubbed against and get a rusty effect, but the parts that are rubbing on the road get a worn down to metal effect. So all this effect along here was achieved with dry brushing. So I'm just trying to relate it to some of you model making guys. Also there's an anti-diction log on the back. I haven't yet perfected my wood effects as yet, but basically there's a base colour with different browns and greys on top and dry brush to pick up the raised edges on the wood. It's not perfect, but it gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to move that away to the side. So, okay, the subject that we are actually going to be referring to is this little guy. Okay, now this is from a Hasegawa egg shuttle build. What I've basically done with this guy is I've primed him in a white primer, a little bit of black primer around the visor, and then I've went over and sprayed him with Mr. Hobby Colour white, flat white for his suit. And then for his visor, I've went under with a gloss Mr. Colour number 2 black. Okay. And then for his actual visor, have I got the right colour? Where's the gold? I've brush painted it with Mr. Colour Super Metallic Super Gold. Now, I was quite surprised actually that this stuff, I used my brush palette, Mr. Colour Self Leveling on it. It went on really, really nice. So I actually got a really smooth effect. But none of his suit was showing any detail. So after all that, I glossed him. Good one to use is Alclad 2 Aqua Gloss, although I did use 2 times more shine Pledge multi-surface wax, or clear in the UK, in America. Okay, so 2 times more shine, and was going to do an oil pin wash on him. I then decided to use a glaze or a shade made by Citadel. Okay, so I'll use Games Workshop guys. This stuff, it gives a black effect, which was kind of what I was looking for, because normally I would use Starship Filth, which is an oil which I would use for a pin wash, which is MIG Abteilung 502 Fantasy Modeling Colour. Yes, ABT 510 Starship Filth. That's what I normally used, but I'm experimenting. So I used the Citadel shade of Nuln Oil. The advantages of this is it's because it's an acrylic shade, and it does get into all the recesses and everything like that, and yeah, it does tint the rest of it the same colour. It dries a hell of a lot quicker than an oil. So I'm going to dry brush this up with the white to bring the accents back. Now to dry brush, you'll need obviously the base colour or the accent colour or the highlight colour. So in this case I'm going with the original base colour. You'll need a brush of some sort. Now on this one, I got these from ABC Brushes, Model Painter range. This is a small dry brush. It's got quite short bristles on it. Okay. They do a medium one, which is just a bit thicker, but again, nice wee short bristles on it. Alright. And then if you're going into the bigger stuff, you've got a large dry brush, which is basically a big flat brush. I'm not going to be using either of those, I'm going to be using the small one. Okay, we'll need lots of kitchen roll, our dry brush, and our paint. Okay, now rather than dipping into the pot, because I don't want to contaminate it, I'm sorry if this whites out the camera a little bit, I'm going to use my dry palette. So I start off by taking my paint as per normal and giving it a good mix up. I really do like these Mr. Hobby Aqueous paints. Find them far better than the Tamiya ones, because they're water based. You can thin them with water. You can also thin them with IPA, or you know, X20A, or you know, Ultimate Airbrush or something like that. They just seem to give a better colour and everything. So I'm just going to, just because I don't want to keep dipping into my pot, I'm going to put some of this in my dry palette. So I've got a wee well of paint to work with. I'm not too worried if it dries out, because when you're dry brushing, you don't really want the paint watery. You want it dry. Those of you guys that do Citadel will know that there's separate dry brush paints that, well, for example, have I got one there? Have I got a dry? That's a base. There's a dry. I mean, for example, in the Citadel colours, you would go in with like lead belcher for the base of your weapon. Okay, that's your base. Then your dry brushing paint, like Necron Compound, it's a really, really thick paint. It's almost dried out to start with. So I'm not worried about it going thick on me, although I will put in this well a little bit of Tamiya X20A in case I do need to wet it up a bit. In case it dries out too much whilst I'm doing this. Right, so what's the basics behind dry brushing? Well, as it kind of suggests, you want to approach the model with a dry brush. So you're going into the paint, okay, so you've got paint on your brush, but you don't want to go in with the brush like that. You want to, now I'll just pull my camera around, you want to rub all that paint off till there's next to nothing on it. Now apologies, I don't have a zoom. So then you take your character that you want to dry brush and you're just basically flicking the brush across with next to no paint on it to bring back the highlights on the bits you want to do. Again, dip it in, take all the excess off, because this is a small brush, it's quite easy, and just flick it across to bring up or bring back the highlights of the bits that you want. You can leave some of the shading on there. It just makes it look a little bit less dark. The shoulders there. Again, apologies, I don't have a zoom on my camera. So I'm just trying to show you the best I can what the dry brushing is all about. So I'm just flicking that and I'm leaving all the dark recesses in, but the bits that are raised after taking all the paint off are getting a bit of a highlight back. So I'm just going to work around this model, dipping my brush in, taking the excess paint off and flicking it to bring back some of the highlights on this so it doesn't look so dark. Okay, and the brush has literally no paint on it, hence dry brush. So I'm going to go off camera and do that and come back and kind of show you where I'm at. So that's it for now, speak to you later, bye. Hey guys, welcome back, Terry from Smooth Workshop. Right, I've actually dry brushed all this little guy and left him overnight. Now, because he's white, he's going to white out a bit on the camera. I have managed to keep some of the dark pigment from the Nuln wash in the recesses and lighten them up. But I still feel he's a bit too dark. Now, I normally use Tamiya paints. They're alcohol based acrylics, and the flat white on that does dry flat white, but it's been so warm here that paints dry up quite quick, which isn't a big problem for dry brushing, but I thought I would try to move on to these because they spray better, and you can wet them for water and with water and stuff if you're actually using a wet palette. The Mr. Hobby Aqueous. Now it says flat white. It's more like, how can I equate it? If you've ever heard, if you're painting your house and you use emulsion, right? You get oh, what do they call them now? Right, you get a matte white, right? So standard flat white, matte or flat, whatever you want to call it. And then you get like a semi-gloss type vinyl silk emulsion. That's kind of what that stuff dries like. Now that's fine if you're spray painting it, but when you're dry brushing, it kind of goes a bit, oh, what's the word, a Scottish word's claggy or sticky, or yeah, rather than it brushing on and then you can brush over it again, it gets really sticky and tacky and it dries semi-gloss. So although it's kind of covered up quite a bit of it and it's got a reasonable nice effect, I'm not 100% happy with the finish on it. So I'm going to need to do a bit more dry brushing over the top. Now, I could do it with the Tamiya XF2 flat white, but I thought I would maybe try, I've got a Citadel shade here as well, a base, the ceramic white, because there's little bits on his shoulders and the back of his hand that still look a bit dark. So I'll flick up a picture now. That's kind of how he looks like at the moment. And there's the back of him. And although it's given a wee bit of nice depth of colour and shading and stuff, I'm still not 100% happy. It's still a bit too dark. So it's had overnight to dry, and I'm going to go in with some more dry brushing on the top. So let's give this Citadel stuff a wee bash. I've pre-mixed this, and the good thing about it, because it's a brush painter's pot, is it's got a wee lip thing in it there for dipping your brush into. So I haven't used this stuff before. Got my dry brush, so I'm just going to get some paint on my brush and take off the excess. Now sorry, this will white out on the camera a bit, just because of the nature of the beast, because it's white. So I'm just going to go in with some more dry brushing with this stuff and see if I can get a bit more brightness on some of the parts. That seems to be going on a lot better than the Mr. Hobby, because I do want to keep some of the darkness in the folds, but the spacesuits didn't really get that dirty, is kind of the way I'm thinking of it. So I wasn't totally happy with the first lot of coverage, so I'm just dry brushing again, flicking the brush lightly across to try and just lighten it up a bit. I'm not too worried if, actually these pots are a wee bit of a pain with this lid. I've seen all the guys in the videos doing it and it kind of stays like that, and it's like, yeah, okay, aye, right, okay, I believe you. But it is nice paint to work with. So again, you're not going to want to watch me doing all of this, but I was just thinking it was just a wee bit too dark in places. And I put a post up in the boom hut for advice, because I'm not used to doing figures, to see what other folk thought, but I've kind of decided that, yeah, whilst he's got some dark in his folds and everything, he's just a bit too dark. At the end of the day, it's what pleases my eye. And his helmet, I wouldn't think his helmet would get too much bashing about. So again, I'm going to go off camera and do that. And basically, once I've got the amount, I've got him to the colour that I want, with the darkness down in the folds and the dry brushing picking up the highlights, I'll seal them in with a matte varnish. I'll use AK Ultra Varnish Matte. I've used it through the airbrush. I haven't painted it on by brush. I think I'll do it by brush because that's safe. I don't want his visor's gloss. So yeah, so that's basically, hopefully that gives you an idea of what dry brushing is. As I say, I left that overnight to dry, and I'm going over it again just to brighten it up a bit more till I get the effect that I want. It's always better to go in with less paint to start with. Let it dry, see what it looks like, and then if you're happy with it, varnish it in and that's you done. But if you go in with less, you can always add more, which is what I'm doing now. So yeah, I'm going over it again just to highlight it a bit more, and I think I'll be happy with it at that. And this seems to be going on a lot better for dry brushing anyway. This is great for spraying, and if you want to make a wet palette up, but it's a semi-gloss, and it's fine if you're just painting it on. But if you're flicking it and working it all the time with a dry brush, it's not very nice to dry brush with. The flat white's easy enough to dry brush with, but it dries out really quickly. So even though you want it to dry out, it'll probably dry out in your dry palette before you can get it all used up. This Citadel stuff seems quite nice, so that's my dry brushing tutorial. So hopefully found it useful. Terry from Smooth's Workshop. See you later, Styrene Fanatics. Bye.